Palisades nuclear plant officials say they may have discovered what caused a radioactive water leak into Lake Michigan. The plant near South Haven was shut down last week when they noticed a leak in the 300,000-gallon cooling water tank had accelerated. Federal officials say the amount of water that spilled into Lake Michigan was so small that there was no danger. Today, the plant's chief operating officer said the leak they found is at the bottom of the big tank. He says they won't know how to fix the problem until they finish an examination.
We're looking at all options, and a liner, or it's not a liner, but it's sort of like a liner. It's an epoxy type coating. That is one of the options that's under consideration. We're also looking all the way to full tank replacement. And as soon as we finish our inspection, including the area between the floor and the concrete, we'll make a decision on what the right option is.
Plant officials say they don't know how long Palisades will be offline as they try to fix this problem. It provides water to cool the nuclear reactor during refueling or in emergency situations.
If there was a major meltdown at the Palisades nuclear power plant, thousands of us could be in the danger zone, but there are plans in place to protect you.
And 24-Hour News 8's Mark Thompson taking a look at those plans for us tonight, Mark.
And I have to first say that a disaster at Palisades is unlikely, but they did drill for that very scenario last October, and FEMA released the results just last month. You can see the fallout map here behind me. Now, preparation for a radiation disaster at Palisades is a coordinated effort involving federal, state, and local emergency management agencies. Last year's drill focused on plans for evacuating populations, decontamination of residents, food, and livestock, as well as protecting emergency workers and equipment from exposure to radiation. The inner ring on the map shows a 10-mile exposure radius from the Palisades plant. This includes mainly Van Buren County. Last week, when another leak forced a plant shutdown, we spoke with the South Haven fire chief about the area's evacuation and decontamination plan.
They already have the routes designated. They have care facilities. They have centers opened up where if there were people that were concerned about radiation, they could go there and be monitored to make sure they didn't have any radiation exposure to them. And if they did, they are prepared there to help decontaminate them, as well as our firefighters and fire equipment.
This ring shows a 50-mile fallout radius from the plant. It includes Allegan, Barry, Berrien, Cass, Kalamazoo, Kent, Ottawa, St. Joe, and Van Buren counties, as well as 3 Indiana counties, St. Joe, Elkhart, and LaPorte. They also participated in last year's drill and keep a close eye on what's going on at Palisades.
It wouldn't impact our entire county, but it could reach into St. Joe County, so it's better to be prepared.
According to the Natural Resources Defense Council, in the 50-mile contamination zone around Palisades, there are more than 1.4 million residents, 508 public schools, and 64 hospitals. But depending on which way the wind blows, the potential for radiation sickness, evacuation zones, and people forced to shelter could be much greater. Now, in conclusion, the FEMA report shows that the area is adequately prepared to handle a radiation emergency caused at Palisades. Now, there were a few areas like a DEQ lab that needed to take some corrective action, but again, that's why they drill.
Yeah, but those graphics, I mean, it really drives home if the unthinkable were to happen.
Yeah.
It's not just the folks down in South Haven.
Yep.
It's West Michigan.
And they look at the weather reports as well to see where a potential plume might flow to as well. But again, these are just scenarios. That's why they practice. That's why they drill. You have to when you have nuclear plants along the lakeshore there. You just have to be prepared.
You do.
I'm glad they are. Thank you, Mark.